as far as rolling it out with my officer corps, in one of my future officer meetings and rolling out the highlights so they know where it exists and what's in it, all that stuff, so. And we're gonna, they recommend it be kind of updated, as we up things in the Emergency Operations Center. And speaking of the Emergency Operations Center, so Chief Crotty and I discussed it, we're both in agreement, Ken is still working in the field, that our EOC now is really just a physical facility. There's no operational capacity in there for, IT, big screens to kind of, to put things on and have a presentation in there. So we're gonna work, and my goal is by the end of this year, to make sure that actually a functional EOC, have a couple of different phone banks in there. If we need to set up them there, people can order phone banks and different phone numbers and stuff like that. So right now, like I said, it's just a physical space. We'd make it work if we need it tomorrow, but it's not optimal. So we're trying to figure out and discussing what our options are. So that's the project for this year. Radio reprogramming, and not too distant future, the Concord Fire Alarm that dispatches our fire EMS calls. That channel is not gonna work, probably within about 3 weeks. So I have a radio programmer coming in, we have like 50 radios probably, between portable radios and mobile radios, and coming in and reprogramming them with a new cold plug, so.
Wow.
I'm working on that. I make it a point when a new chief in the surrounding town, takes seat, and I've met with the, Northfield chief, last month. Get on the same page, exchange contact information, and then, Belmont, we're playing phone tag with one another, so, we're planning to get that done as well. And because of the warrants that passed, the command car purchase, I haven't purchased anything yet, and I try to know which way I'm going, but next week or two. I think best case scenario, if I tell them this week I want the vehicle, they're projecting it to arrive in mid-August. And about a month to upfit from there, so it'll be mid-September timeframe that, that'll actually become the rescue. And I'm also right now getting the value on the rescue, what we can get for it, because I don't plan to keep that vehicle.
Yeah.
And same thing with the extrication equipment, there's 3 different vendors I'm working with, we'll make a decision soon, with the new extrication platform.
And it was brought up at town meeting, but you keep the old gas.
Yeah, with 2 engines, the old one's functional, it's fine. It's functional, it just takes 3 or 4 people to set up.
Right.
With a new one person can roll and take it and get it and make it to go, so. Yeah, so we'll keep both platforms, because there have been incidents where we could have used 2 separate devices with multiple vehicles, accident and traffic and all that, so. That's all I have, unless you have questions.
That's a lot, no. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Chief.
Have a good evening.
Chief Crotty, how about you next?
Pass this one that way.
Yay, speed test.
Yeah, I guess it'll be out for you guys.
That's your
Congratulations.
Yes. This is turtle. Very good.
So we'll
No,
start
this
with
is a
the,
different one apparently.
yeah, we'll start, yeah, there are 2 different locations, so.
They both have turtles though,
Yes.
you will notice.
Understood.
We'll start with the statistics for the month. Last month we had 6 incidents, 1 arrest, 5 accidents, 37 citations, and 320 calls for service. We're hosting a field training officer course in August, which gives us, again, 2 free seats, which I've given one away. And in September, we're hosting the cognitive interviewing and detecting deception course. We got free seats for that, so we're not paying for any of those. We've had 4.5 hours of miscellaneous training in that time frame. We did get the speed radar device.
Oh,
We got
good.
that in. March 2nd, we put that out on Baptist Hill Road.
So we don't have to borrow from.
We don't have to borrow from Epsom, is where we
Epsom,
borrow. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did I tell you I got an email inquiry about that?
No.
I did, about, specifically about Baptist Hill Road. And,
Okay.
that person asked if it was recording license plates.
It does not.
That's what I
Yeah.
did. I'm familiar enough
So
with these.
this is just a small portion of the reports we get.
Yeah.
It'll give us a breakdown of the dates, the time. I'm trying to think what else was on it. There's a bunch of reports. This was just more simpler to read type reports.
Yeah.
The front page here will tell you the ADT is the average daily traffic. So combined in a week, only had 109 cars go by that thing on Baptist Hill Road.
I see that.
Really?
Yeah. And you're great. So I'm trying to think how to break it down. So that green turtle, as you call her, that's just everything under the speed limit of 30. The yellow is over the speed limit, but not quite fast enough where it's something that we would enforce. And then the red is what we would enforce, which is basically anything over 38 miles per hour.
And I'm assuming this chart changes depending on where you put the unit, depending on what
Yeah,
the
we can,
speed
so
limit
we can
is on
set,
that.
in the software on the computer, we
Yeah.
can set the speed limit. And if you look on that second page.
Yep.
So the first line is total vehicles, the second line is the southbound lane, third line is the northbound lane. If you look like more on the southbound lane, where it says 132.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's vehicles going between 30 and 35 miles per hour. And then it's 35 to 40 miles per hour is 123. And then 40 cars going from 40 to 45. We did have one going between 65 and 70.
One was going 70
Yeah. It's between 65 and 70.
on Baptist Hill?
Yeah.
What the
And
heck?
again, we can see what time of day it was.
I didn't even think you'd be airborne half the time. Wow,
Maybe.
that's just nuts.
Yeah.
Maybe the road agent's doing too good of a job on that.
Maybe, I think we need a few speed bumps. Holy moly.
It's just more
Well, and there's one going on the oh no, that's combined, never mind.
Yeah, the combined is the top is all of them.
Right.
So again, you're getting about 100 cars a day going down Baptist Road.
Still a couple, that one car going 60 too, that's still
So it's still pretty fast for that road. It's very fast that road.
crazy.
But it, the reports we were getting was every day going between 60 and 70 miles an hour.
Oh, okay,
So this just shows that it's really not every
Yeah.
day. Now,
and it's not a lot.
right. My thought is it's a narrow road. It's trees on both sides, so it actually looks faster than it really is.
Agreed.
The next page was Boyce Road.
Wow.
Yep.
We do have a speeding problem on Boyce Road. It's easier, so you're getting about 787 cars a day on Boyce Road. But if you look on that second page, because it breaks it up better. So Boyce Road's 35 miles an hour. But again, if you look at the westbound lane, you're getting 816 cars a day between 40 and 45,
Yeah.
165 between 45 and 50, 19 between 50 and 55, and that's just the westbound lane. Then you come down, same thing, 740 between 40 and 45, 128 between 45 and 50, and it goes up. So we
It's
do have
50 miles on bikes where you hit that curve.
this was at the power lines,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
so
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
that little straightaway there. So people are cruising right along.
Well, you know what they're trying to do is they're trying to beat the people who went straight to see who
Yeah,
gets
and
to
they go up the white
who
road,
gets
they
to
right,
who
yeah.
gets to the
Yeah.
corner first.
You're probably right. Probably right.
Maybe.
Well,
At least I've
on,
been guilty of that myself once or twice.
On Baptist Hill Road, we had it in the area of 350.
Wow.
So, I mean, and again, we can put it on different areas. So, but for now, that's where we decided to put it, based on some of the complaints that we got.
I can see how this is going to be a great tool.
Now, I can send you guys like the actual complete list of all the different reports it gives us. It's just a lot to print out, and I have basically $35 printers. So it was a lot for me to print out out of the DVD.
This gives us, I think, a really good kind of
These were
snap.
the simpler reports.
Yeah,
That's why I brought these.
So what happens now that you have a time frame when,
So it gives us an idea of when we should be over, like on Boyce Road, when we
Okay.
should be over there running radar. What days
Yeah.
more than others.
Very helpful.
Yeah, instead of us guessing when to be over
so
there,
I'm guessing that, part of the other reports is the timestamp.
it breaks up days, time.
Okay.
Yeah, it gives us more information to use of when to be in certain areas.
Okay. This seems like money well spent. Yay.
Agreed. Yeah. Well, honestly, we didn't spend a lot of money.
No,
Right, it's going to be helpful for us because instead of us putting a guessing game of where to be, we
Yeah.
can kind of narrow it down instead of spending, 3 hours on Boys Road trying to figure out when they're there.
Yep.
We now have a good idea of when we should be over there.
Yeah,
Great, good,
cool.
great. Thank you. How often do you move it?
We keep it up for a week at a time. So it's in its third location now.
Okay.
Undisclosed location.
Yes, undisclosed.
Oh, I can suggest a few though. Can we email
You can
suggestions?
email me anytime.
All right, good. I've got
Second Westgate's the one that's been putting it out, moving it, downloading
Yeah.
everything. So we can
Great.
him would be the ideal, but person is then.
Yeah.
And he moves it on the weekends typically.
Okay, thank you.
No, any questions?
None for
I
me?
don't think so, no.
Got it?
No?
Good, okay.
All right.
Cool, thank you, chief. Rachel or Sam, either of you need to get out of here?
You go first, Mama.
Well,
There you go. All right.
just as fast as flying.
Yeah.
Sam, off the top of your head, I'm just curious how many people were at second session?
159.
Thank you.
159.
I'm sorry, 159, what?
At second session.
Oh. Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I thought it looked a little empty. Okay. Okay,
Unpaid receivables, everybody's received their second dunning notice that says the lien notice is coming next and that'll be sent out next week.
All right.
So everybody on this list is aware of what the process is and what the date is before the lien notice goes out.
Yep.
So we've received dribs and drabs of funds, but nothing that, and we have heard nothing from Beulah Fellowship whatsoever.
Okay.
No contact.
Well,
So some of these people, it doesn't surprise me, but Beulah Fellowship with the bill that they're starting to rack up.
yeah.
Yeah. It's not like they're coming back undeliverable, it's not like they're refusing them, so.
Well, when he came in, we checked pretty carefully about where things were supposed to go.
So,
yeah.
Huh. Alrighty, wow. Oh, yeah.
town meeting minutes are under review, and then they'll
Very
come to
good.
you to check them out.
Yep.
392 ballots cast. So that was a higher turnout than I expected,
Yeah,
but
I think that honestly higher than all of us expected. I thought it would be much lighter, but it's great to see.
Mm.
Thank you to everybody. You know,
questions for me?
none from me?
No.
All right,
Okay.
thank
And I
you.
suppose while we're recording, we should say thank you to everybody who came out and voted and came to town meeting, who's ever watching the video after this.
There you go.
There you go.
Thanks for all your hard work. And Bessie, the voting machine, did admirably.
Yeah, seem to.
Thank you.
You've got trustees tonight?
I do. They're in there. And
Um, I'll
Bill's
see
in the
them.
conference room, so you, the library's on.
Okay.
Good evening, Mrs. Faber.
Good evening, good evening. What we were whispering about, was on my list, actually. I'm installing a key padlock like you have up at Sammy Lake
Oh, yeah.
for the archive.
Yeah.
So Sam is assisting in that. So
Very good.
thank you and well done on Friday. We are going to meet Jennifer Roberski this evening.
Oh, good.
Yes, we have invited her to attend our trustees meeting and to come to the library to get to know a little bit about us. And so she's going to attend with us this evening. So that's good news, and we were glad to see she got so many votes, and we hope that she gets to know our library.
Yep.
Our main emphasis right now is on our library of things. We're currently up to 49 items that are available for loan for 1 week. And as is the trend in the state and the nation, the library of things is really how libraries are innovating, just in addition to books, but things and passes. So we're launching our pass offering. We're going to have Squam Lakes, Korean Museum of Art, New Hampshire State Park Pass, Petals in the Pines, Children's Museum. I'll give this to you later. So. Children's Museum of New Hampshire, Montshire Science, Bedrock Gardens, Mount Washington Observatory, Fisher Cats Ballpark, and Museum of Science Boston, and Mount Kearsarge Indian Museum. I'll send those two.
That's a
So-
great list.
Yes, and that is thanks to friends for their hard work and their donations. Pub night was very successful. They were able to raise $1,862 in that evening.
There were a lot of jars that were stuffed,
There were a lot of stuffed jars. So
leprechaun gold.
there was a lot of gold in those jars, and we're so thankful because that is how we're able to do all those things.
Yeah, great.
And very happy to report on the maintenance that I talked to Peter Gladys today. And he's sending his son tomorrow because we're still without that gutter. And that's probably because it's been winter for 10 years.
Yep.
So he's gonna come tomorrow, so hopefully being able to have that patched up.
While he's here and you have a captive audience,
Yes,
I emailed Peter last week about the cap on the addition portion of the town hall.
yeah,
The roof, the ridgeline cap.
Yeah.
We're losing some shingles off it. Could you
oh yeah,
point,
look at that.
could you point him in that direction?
I will
I
do that,
emailed
so.
Peter and I didn't hear back. His son is coming by, just kind of drag him across the parking lot
I
and say,
will.
Hey, look at this.
Ridge line, I can see it now, ridge line on the addition.
thank you.
You're welcome. I've been waiting since last June, so
Yeah,
let's hope we get them.
well, we had a voter who came in and grabbed me and said, you gotta come look at this.
Yeah, I hadn't noticed that.
Yeah, I hadn't either.
Yeah, it's just the cap.
It pays to look at.
Can he do the woodwork on the post that
Probably, yeah.
would you have him look at that? Can he look at it too?
Is that in
Yeah.
the budget?
Yeah.
The woodwork on.
Just so you can give an estimate, right?
On the ramp, there's a
When you go up the
post,
ramp, there's-
the very first post on
Yeah.
the left-hand side that got broken off.
First post.
I can email you a
Some
picture.
storm
I mean,
damage.
I can text you a picture if you want, Rachel.
Storm damage.
You can't miss it. It's right as you go up on the ramp.
Do we want him to look at that hole in the floor on the right side bench?
There was a hole in the floor.
Yeah, if you,
Inside?
Mark
Yeah.
Hopkins, or I don't know, who was it that put a piece of plywood over it? It was one they had when they were doing, electrical work or something
Okay.
in there.
And
And
it's
there's a
right,
little square piece of plywood right up by the door, by the storage room up there.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah,
yeah,
Oh,
maybe we don't bother with that.
that's, wait for now.
Let's
but
wait.
the
Let's see if
outside
we
place
can
is
do
good.
that.
Okay, take a look at that bottom,
And on that note, I appreciate the use of the town hall. Because I've had, what's that mean? Oh, that's my key.
Yeah.
I've had 6 programs already this year. And so I really, really appreciate having the town hall.
And
I,
Lights are fixed over there now.
oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
the one that's out on the top?
I really don't wanna, I don't really wanna think about an addition, and I'm less likely to wanna do that. Just because our programs are well attended. I mean, we had a little over 5 programs the other day. And an addition, I just don't know if an addition would cover it. So if you don't mind, I'd love to continue utilizing the town hall.
Yeah, I think that if it's available, certainly.
It seems
Yeah.
to work, and why not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rachel, I just sent you 3 pictures of the post at the bottom
Oh,
as a
thank you, Beth.
reminder. Ask him about it.
Thank
Just
you.
look in the post.
And on that, my last note, before I forget about the town hall is, will you remind me of the cleaning person's name again?
Jen Chase.
Fabulous job. Fabulous. I used to have to bring my own paper products, and I am not. It's
That's good to hear.
amazingly
Yeah.
clean and very well taken care of.
Well, and early, because I went in early the day after voting and it was
Already
spotless.
done.
Yeah, it was
Thank you
very
for
good.
getting all that stuff out there, but then she got in there,
Yeah.
so I can't say enough, and that really helps me because I used to have to clean it before I programmed and clean it again after, and now I don't, so I really appreciate her.
Good. It's always good to hear.
Yes,
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Any questions for it?
None for me?
No, no, thanks.
No?
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Alright, you trustees,
Good night.
thank you, good night. Thank you.
Hello, Lieutenant.
My favorite truck is still Liquor Ponies.
no idea when we're gonna get it.
Yep.
National back order for
Really?
the parts it needs. One of the internationals has to go to Manchester. Antifreeze leak, engine oil leak, and the rear end locker is not working.
Wow.
So get that with that. Little nudging from Ken, the new truck is ordered.
Good.
Roads are starting to thaw.
Yep.
We've had to stone to Pickard, New, Hackleboro, Cogswell, Clough Pond, Asby, and Misery. They're holding it pretty well riding around today. It was good.
Yeah.
There have not been as many places so far where the mud is so deep you can't go through. Hackleboro's looking much better than it has.
Pickard when that let go.
Yeah.
That was still tough, but they've been pretty good. No frozen culverts so far, which is a good thing. 3.5 tons of coal patch were put out. You mentioned coal patch earlier. Most on shaker, some on Interfund.
Yeah.
We wanted to ship out paper. The place that was taking it rejected. They took pictures of the bales. Too much brown paper in the mixed paper bins
Interesting.
for them. Anyways, so they're looking for another place to ship.
Did they tell you they couldn't take too much brown paper beforehand?
David's running out of storage, so he's gonna start using the salt shed and move the sand a little bit. He'll start using a bay there. The 25 mile an hour speed limit was put up on Old Boys that you had authorized earlier and Chevrons. And the bus stop signs down on Old Tilton that were asked for. I got a call from an engineering firm. They started to talk with the Athertons, wanting to know about the road, Atherton Road. And Nick starts school the 30th for driving. So that'll be good.
Very good.
Questions, my way?
Yeah, on the very small level, Ken, when I came in and talked to you about the hole, the pothole on the corner of Kimball Pond, it was filled the next day. Was that you or the state? That one pothole?
It's from the states.
It was
Okay.
steady.
Okay, well, they came right out and did
So
it.
is that pothole down by Pickard Road?
It's right with, yes, it's right on the inside corner. And when you shade over because some big truck's in your lane, it was a chuck hole. It's still not a perfect fill, but it's better than it was.
No, this surprised it lasted as long as it did.
Yeah,
But they did come out and look at
they
it
did,
on the call.
they did.
Yeah.
Otherwise, roads are looking good. As the speed limits attest, they're nice and smooth. Thank you, I think.
Okay.
Thank you, John.
All right, thank you, John. Oh, actually, I do have a question. So your favorite truck that's still down in Grapponi, what does it usually need to do that's not being done because the truck is still at Grapponi?
It doesn't have power steering and brake. It needs a new pump.
No, I mean, what's its job?
It's one of the F-550s,
Oh,
smaller
okay.
pickup, smaller dump trucks.
So it's not like we're missing a lot of equipment to take care of roads while it's sitting down there.
Well, it is because they don't need a CDL to drive that. And that's what my two drivers don't have CDL. So
Okay,
it's limiting,
got it.
very limiting.
All right, well then.
We also awarded the waste oil burner today,
Oh, yeah,
and the
Water sliding tank.
sliding wall.
Oh, yeah.
it was a busy Monday after town meeting.
Yeah,
All
I'm sure
right.
it's the same all across the state.
Yeah,
The truck is at Fairfields, and it's something they have in stock. So the turnaround time is 90 days, they said,
He told us 90 days. We're
versus
hoping that
versus a year if we get it from the ponies or someplace else and got the truck and chassis and
Yeah.
that way.
right.
Yeah. Very good.
and the old dump truck goes, what happens with that?
Pardon?
Do we sell the old one?
We will, when we get the new one in, we will get rid of T1.
T1 or T2 or something.
Is it worth it to give
Whichever-
it to the
whichever
fire
one
department
is
to use that on the
not
highway
working.
as a obstacle?
Well, it has to be able to get to the highway.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right,
And we are starting to shop for, Packer trucks too.
okay,
Good.
good.
Yeah.
All right,
And you had sent a letter out as far as the garbage
Yes.
work.
yeah,
Canterbury Elementary contacted me last week. The state will not allow the garbage truck to come up to empty their dumpster. They called District 3 last week and they said no, they couldn't. I called today, I got the same message. I did leave a voicemail for the district engineer.
Yeah.
And I sent an email to the state representative, Mike Moffett, today, asking him for assistance on this.
Yeah. So I won't they let them.
Because the roads are posted for weight. So they won't let garbage and Casella come up.
So Casella won't go to the school, but they also won't come to us to empty the CD then by the transfer station.
Even on hardball, with an exception, they won't.
So, like I said, I left a message for the district engineer and sent an email to state rep. For the school, what we told them was that we could drive on the way by, when we go to, when waste, we'll stop and they can empty a couple garbage cans into our backer truck for a short term. But
cause that'll be what we talked this morning about, maybe 3 weeks, won't be long term.
yeah, I mean, it depends on the weather.
It's multiple trash cans a day.
But they haven't
Yep.
posted Shaker Road. They've posted Kimmel Pond, Baptist and Center Road, but they haven't posted Shaker Road. And John told me tonight that, there's a contractor working up at the end of Shaker Road. And he contacted the state and they said, you're all set.
Really?
So I'm not sure what's going on. And it's all District 3, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. But
So if it's not posted and the other roads are posted and he's working on Shaker Road and he dings up the road, but the road wasn't posted, is there any
the
recourse?
problem is, part of Shaker Road is in the town, is town maintained. So he's traveling across the state maintained and then onto the town maintained. And we had a problem last week when 5 concrete mixers showed up without letting us know. I asked the building inspector to talk to the contractor, let him know that if they're gonna have trucks go up there, they needed to clear it with the road agent first. If not, we were gonna go after them, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All about the
Concrete
roads.
company didn't really seem to care. They said, send us a bill.
Oh, good.
Okay. So we can do that.
How big a bill
Yeah.
Well, it
will they
depends.
allow us to spend on?
It kind of depends on how this works out.
Oh, jeez, okay
See what
then.
happens.
Well, thank you, that sounds like a little bit arm wrestling might happen, so
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah.
John. So,
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Is
And the one-
Abberton a maintained road, town road, or is that a class 6?
Pardon me?
Is Abberton town maintained?
Yes.
Sorry, I got it.
Yes.
Thank you.
It is town maintained.
What's the second house?
Pardon me?
Where do they turn around, the second house? Like right behind the
Sure.
swamp?
Yeah, they go up around the corner.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right, community power's not coming in for another about hour, so we got time. You want to sign?
Sure.
Yeah, let's get that stuff out of
Yep.
the way. All right, first item. Looks like an accounts payable manifest in the amount of $82,528.55.
so moved.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Right. Cal, I assume the L check needs a signature and that's it?
If that's part of the manifest, but
Is it okay?
he doesn't like to sign his own checks.
I don't blame him. I certainly get that. I would do the same thing, so. Anybody wanna look at Al's, that's mileage, I assume.
No, I just like to look at his handwriting.
Thank you.
Oh, there's Al's, here's
Yeah,
this.
all
Yeah, it's funny, somebody's handwriting is so visceral and a lot of people don't have that out. Everybody
Yeah.
types everything.
Very true. All right, next item is a payroll manifest in the amount of $65,307.22.
So moved.
Second, all those in favor, aye?
Aye. Oh, let's see how much the mileage was, it doesn't matter.
145 something, the check to Al for mileage.
It is 145 even.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next is an interfund transfer to the Conservation Committee Fund in the amount of $18,253 even. And I don't think we need motions, right? We just sign this one or? Yeah.
That's land use change.
That's correct. Then you'll see the detail, you know. All right, next one is a welfare manifest check for the amount of $1,575 even.
So moved.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Cal, I assume that's that ongoing one.
That one is actually completed. That should be the last.
Cool. Yeah, okay. And honestly, these days for rent, pretty inexpensive.
Yeah,
That's one month?
Yeah, one month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we do have some other cases that are being processed.
Yeah. Alright. Thank you. Alright, next is an application for property tax credit or exemption. This looks like a veterans. Assuming I see a DD 214, so, right? Let's see. Let's play this 16. So I think just in 2 spots.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Did we have to correct the one we did last week?
Fair.
Question.
Because Mandy pointed out that the percentage, there might have been something wrong with the application.
If she needs anything signed by you guys, she just gives it to me.
Okay.
So I can make a note to check with her on Wednesday.
Yeah,
Okay.
Although I saw her this morning, she didn't say anything.
Okay, because I saw her last week and she said it might have been a hiccup with some new payroll.
Gotcha.
Are you sure this isn't the case that needed redoing?
I wouldn't know, I don't remember the name for the life of me.
Yeah.
I'll check with him.
No, it's a different name.
Go. All right, next is an appointment slip for Jessica Treadway as moderator for the next year.
Do
So,
we do moderator every year?
So that is an elected position?
Oh, okay, so she'll have to run next.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. She will be on the ballot next year.
Well, I hope she does. She did a good job.
she did a great job. Yeah, she
Really
really
good.
did.
1 year ain't enough.
No, I think she's loving it. As
Yeah,
far as I
she
know.
really, for both first and second sessions, I thought that.
Where's that
Excellent job.
Oh,
Thank you.
yeah.
All right, next is an appointment slip for Alice Todd for the Recreation Committee.
Yeah. Randy's recommendations.
Yep.
Last time that one, no, does it matter? I know her pretty well.
It's I was gonna say, it's a volunteer position.
You can sign.
I think that everybody is.
Well, no, not vote recused, but do you recommend?
She already does it, so.
Yeah, may as well make it official then.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, next is Bob Steenson, or excuse me, Kelly Short for the Conservation Commission.
Yes.
Those 3 years? How long are those?
This is 3 years, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Should be 3 of them.
Yep. and I'm just gonna announce while you're signing Kelly's, Bob Steenson for a 3-year term for Conservation Commission.
Yes.
Thank you. Treja. And then the last one is Lance Messenger. 3-year term for Conservation Commission.
Yay. Good.
Thank you. All right. Those.
You need recommendations, I say yes to all.
It's gonna be like the easiest one to get people to stay on.
Yes and no, they,
Well, the ones that are there, I think, are very dedicated. We've really, that's another one of those boards or commissions got really long-term members. So that tells you something, I think. All right, updated fee schedule.
I can point out which one's changed.
Please do.
So the site plan and design review
Yep.
went from 50 to 100 because that's what the application actually said.
Huh? Okay.
So this is just correcting that.
do we don't have a
You
copy of
don't
that.
have a copy. There's
Okay.
one copy and it has the stamp on it that I need you guys to sign.
So I can't write on it, I promise.
No, you can.
Fund to the new Sam Lake House ETF. Do we need to sign, Ken, or is this, oh yeah, we do.
And this is all. No change.
I know, that's,
It's good.
yeah.
Good.
Thank you. All right. That's to you. All right, I think we're at previous minutes approval from the March 2nd, meeting.
I got 2 minor notes. One was on line 95 specified that the tree you guys weren't getting is the Liberty tree.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the other one was
Did I send that to you or did I just think it loudly at you?
Ken sent me.
I thought it too, and as soon as you said it, I went, I didn't put that in. All right, thank you.
Beth, your question about if the tree stumping is coming from the.
Oh, yeah.
That is correct. so that amendment part of the minutes is correct.
Okay.
And then the other change is, just adding that Niccolo Anastasi is the Meridian representative. So 2 minor changes.
Anybody have anything else, John? That's what's back?
Nope.
Okay. So I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as amended.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Our minutes just keep getting better.
I would agree. All right, select board representative reports and determine representatives for this year.
Okay. With my report.
I've got a fairly lengthy one from planning.
I got nothing, because mine are still hibernating.
I thought that as I was writing mine up.
It's really,
Tomorrow, we meet tomorrow.
But, all right, so while you're looking, Beth, I'll start then.
okay,
So, the planning board, approved with conditions a subdivision for map 228 lot 11 at 115 Asby Road. And I just wanted to note publicly that the applicant expressed appreciation to Michelle Hammond for her assistance and just sung her praises.
oh, good.
And things like that, I think we definitely want to publicize. So Michelle, thank you. Second item, planning board reviewed the conditions of approval for the Hildreth Farm project on West Road. They approved a 3-lot subdivision for map 213 lot 11 on Baptist Hill Road. They worked on what are now the approved zoning amendments in preparation for first session voting. And that's all I've got from planning. The Tricentennial Committee, as Beth is modeling, Tricentennial Ware has been sold. There will be further sales which we'll be announcing. That's all I can think of. Can you think of, I know there's a lot going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and our meeting is Thursday,
Yeah,
so
right,
we would have more after
Yeah,
that.
it's-
All I know is the committees continue to meet and work on projects like the quilters and
Yep, exactly.
Things like-
There's a lot of,
the movie and.
yeah, a lot of things in the works, I guess I'll say.
Can I ask a question about Tricentennial?
Sure.
How come they haven't asked for funds from the town for
That's a good
the
question.
celebration next year? Because I know the money, and it seems to be the
Correct.
the crutch, but
I'm not sure I have an answer for you, except that the thinking was, I think, that they were gonna be able to raise enough that they didn't need to ask.
okay.
That's the sense that I get, and
I just don't wanna, I'd hate for us to get caught blindsided in
Yeah.
November, December and not
Right.
anticipate maybe the ask.
well,
I would hope by November, December,
Yeah.
that they will know enough to get something in the budget so they could get some money at the beginning of the tricentennial year.
Right, I figured they would have asked this year.
Well, and I think they're still waiting for a lot of people to fill out their worksheets and say, this is the event we want, this is how much it's going to cost, this is how much we're going to need, and a lot of people just haven't done that.
I would just
Either they're
hate to see-
throwing their own money in the
Yeah.
pot or
Yeah.
whatever.
It just seems like it's highly anticipated and you guys are very excited. I would just hate to not have the funds to
agreed.
Yes,
accomplish it.
Several of the things, the plates are a fundraiser, shirts and sweatshirts are fundraisers. Challenge coins, if we order them, we haven't done that yet, are fundraisers.
Okay.
I think that's, I hope anyway, gonna give them enough seed money to get things, going for 2027.
I mean, they had a lot of plans to sell things, like last year, but I think it was just too early. So now that it's closer.
Tricentennial Eve.
Yeah, exactly. All right, that's all I have.
Okay, well, I would say, and something about community power, except Beth McGuinn's going to come in and talk to us,
With
and
Edgar,
Edgar.
yep.
So that'll be the biggest thing I would think, other than what they're going to talk about, is that there is a listening session
Yep, I put it in my
planned
calendar.
for April 7th.
Yes.
Is it the 7th?
Yes.
Edgar?
Yep,
Did I write it?
7 PM
Yeah.
at
Town hall.
Town Hall.
So that's the last meeting, we spent a lot of time planning for that. And a lot talking about what we're gonna talk about here, so I won't
Yeah.
repeat that.
Okay.
Conservation Commission, they did a lot of recapping, talked about the warrant articles. They're going to consider whether or not they wanna weigh in on how the wetlands article actually ended up to be, because I think they wanted to say more about vernal pools. It's good for now, but
Yeah.
they'll revisit that at some point. They still have a number of conservation outreach projects that they're working on. We talked about the New Hampshire Fish and Game Wildlife Action Plan update, which is very exciting.
Cool.
Because they're tracking turtles, which is very nice.
I saw something about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, they just continue, there's work days planned, there's, they're talking about who's going to be the next chair, because Ken's term is up. And he can't, he's been like 3 times in a row and he can't do it again. So next time will be the voting for that.
Yeah.
We had an update on the new representative to Umralak, which that seems to be going along, and so, they just continue to chug through their agenda and get things done.
Good.
So that's
What we need.
that's good. The Energy Committee, a lot of talk about recruitment. Still trying to look for new members. Several people who were approached have declined. We did talk about the button-up event that was held here. That was successful. Chatted more about what might be wanted and what they hope to get from the municipal center audit. And I don't think the municipal complex energy audit, and I don't think I talked to you when we talked this morning, Ken, about, I don't know if when they do the municipal center, if they can do this building too, like do a blower door test on here and see. And I don't know, this and the furnace and the heat, I mean, this just, for such a small building, it seems to keep.
Check, I did get an email from the company today.
Oh, okay,
It was the first communication I had from them. And they're gonna be sending me some dates.
okay,
They haven't given me a cost estimate, which I don't know if there's gonna be a cost to it or not. Because the last company said that if we wanted a technical audit, which that's what their terminology was, there would be a cost associated with it.
right.
I don't know if there's gonna be one with this company or not, I have to check.
Well, I would assume that a technical audit, I mean, if it's not a technical audit, what is it? How do you use it?
I don't know.
I mean, that's what we want.
Yeah, and I think we sent a pretty comprehensive list of what the goals were.
Yeah,
So I'll double check with that, but
I mean, this building, I was thinking about it this morning, it's just, we've got this thing going, the furnaces around the corner, and it would almost need to be a little moving of things around to make this building work, which I don't know if it's worth it or not, but again.
Blower door test?
No, not just in general to make this work more efficiently, but I'm not the energy expert, so anyway. I think we were just trying to see if maybe this building could be included, since we started to look at the lights, which we'll talk about later.
Right.
And there is going to be a battery storage workshop that both Beth McGuinn and I are going to, just to see, and part of it is talking about municipal battery storage for like our big solar arrays. So see what they've have to say, good, bad, or different about that.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much for that. That's all I got.
Okay.
Well, HTC meets for the first time since October
I
tomorrow.
saw that actually.
Yay!
Rec committee won't meet probably until May
Yeah.
to get ready for soccer. And school board, they've got their first meeting next week since the election. They'll elect new positions, and then they'll get into the CBA in June.
Yeah.
So in terms of town-related things with the school, it's pretty much just been budget the last 2 months.
Yeah.
But I think we should definitely pay attention to the CBA as it comes down.
Yeah.
And also, grants. I think we need to be a little bit more, I don't wanna say proactive, but we should try to work more hand in hand with the district so we can be apprised of what's going on. I think with funding going up, we should try to take advantage of some of the grants. And I know Kate, obviously they're grant writers, so they're definitely pursuing a lot more grants with the schools.
Yeah.
So it might be advantageous to us just to kind of keep our thumb on it and see what funding opportunities we can pursue, similar to what Superintendent Tercey brought in.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
other than that, it's been pretty slow for the schools.
Yeah. All right.
Alrighty,
All right, actually, so that brings us to determine the representatives for this year. I need to give up planning. It is just too much to be the chair and go to the planning board meetings and read everything I need to read, so, I'll offer to you first. But I will tell you that it's a time commitment. And it isn't
Oh, I would
the
think so,
meetings,
yeah.
It's the prep for the meetings,
Right.
and I know you've got a pretty full plate.
I wouldn't wanna give up conservation, but I don't have a lot to, that's not a hard pull.
Yeah.
It is hard for CCPC and energy not so much, but at the moment I'm acting as kind of chair and secretary for CCP,
Yeah.
which has got to change.
So Calvin's committees, a lot of them are irregular meetings or seasonal,
Yeah.
so,
Transient.
yeah.
So could you take on planning?
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to do whatever you guys see. I'm really pretty flexible, whatever.
Yeah, that would be a
If
big
you want
compromise.
planning, you've obviously been here longer. I have no problem doing planning if.
I think I tend to still continue to go to the planning, I like to know what's going on,
Mm.
but I think what happens if we get partway through and decide, like you decide it's too much and I decide I wanna do it, can we switch halfway through?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just notifying,
Yeah.
notifying the planning board.
It just has to be done through the planning board,
Yeah.
right,
because you're an ex officio member.
Right.
So it gives you voting privileges.
right.
Yeah.
I'm content to stay with the committees I have, I will do it if you don't want to, but I'm content with the
No, I
way it
mean-
is.
I'll do it because like Scott said, my meetings are so irregular.
Okay.
It's like HTC seems to be seasonal. Whenever the projects are at Shakers, when they have meetings, and
Exactly.
Ag I think only meets twice a year.
Well, and I wouldn't doubt that your experience on the zoning board would help you with,
Yeah, I
Right,
mean,
so-
and truthfully, like, I think we could do some good things with zoning and planning, you know, maybe we could finally try to get them to meet twice a year. It'd be nice if they could start reading over the new ordinances that passed and, you know, see how planning wanted them implemented or how they derived their ordinances, so that way when they do come down the line, maybe they can view them the way they were intended to be viewed.
okay,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, meetings in the past have not gone smoothly, so.
Yeah, and I think in terms of leadership on both boards, it would be a good time to fund, not blend the boards, but bring them back in. You know, we've had a period where they've been over here. I think with the goings on in towns, it would be advantageous for us to kind of get them back in the.
Yeah, like you said,
ball.
Yeah,
you know, a couple
yeah,
times
no, I
a
would
year.
agree. If you're willing to at least start it and see how it goes, that would be great.
Okay,
And if for some reason it's not a good fit, it doesn't sound like it's gonna be a problem, but if it is.
Okay.
yeah, all right, and so I think I heard you say that you didn't weren't interested in switching out of anything else.
I'll be happy to, CCPC and energy
Yep.
kind of work together, so
Yep.
that's a good group,
Makes
and I really
sense.
like conservation.
Perfect.
I like working with them and.
Yeah, Calvin, same for you,
Yeah.
except now you're gonna take on planning.
Yep.
Okay. Cal, you got that?
Mhm.
Cool, alright. And I'll keep tricentennial as the selectmen's rep. Unless you.
No.
Just want to give you a chance.
Thank you,
Welcome.
thank you. I'm good.
Alright. Alright, I think that's it for committees and reps. Alright. I think we're on to new business, right? Alright, conflict of interest policy.
Mhm.
You had emailed out, kind of a
Boilerplate.
sample, you know, I'll
Yes.
call it, which I looked at. I think that, you know, as I looked at our audit this year, that is literally the only item that we didn't have that's suggested. So what I'd like to see us do, at some point soon is, finalize our conflict of interest. So I think at least for tonight, it seems like there's agreement that we wanna move forward with this. And what I'm thinking is that, we all take some time and sort of, look at the stuff that Ken sent and then decide on a policy. I think this is gonna be an easier lift.
Is there more than this sample ordinance that what else is there for
No,
us?
That was, yeah.
I was surprised that it was so, minimalist.
I think.
I mean, it covers
honestly,
everything,
I've
it's just a
I've
page and a.
seen- I did get a couple others, that are a little more lengthy, but looking at those and then looking at this one seemed to encompass
Yeah,
pretty much everything that the others did, just not as long.
Yeah.
Not as lengthy.
So Fremont, that's the
right.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I also think that, you know, if you think about the, code of conduct and that, you know, that's a much lengthier document that took us a while, obviously. So I think this will be a.
Oh, I did have one question though, when I looked at it.
Yep.
On exemptions. So if you're interested in not having any conflict of interest, why would you have this not apply to election contributions? Especially if you had somebody who was running for something. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't have, for public office, it just didn't seem to apply to us. Or if we were running for office and somebody was giving us money to vote a certain way because they wanted to develop something in town,
Right.
it seems like either it shouldn't be in there or it shouldn't be exempt. Somehow it didn't fit. But that's the only thing that caught my eye, really. So, we can think about that a
Yeah,
little bit more.
Yeah, well, we can put it on the agenda, I think, for the next meeting. That'll give us a couple weeks to.
If you have edits that you want, you
Yep.
can send them to me and
There
then
you
I
go.
can make a
Oh,
draft,
okay.
just like we did
Yep, with
the
the,
last
yeah,
one.
yeah, okay, that makes sense to me.
Yep.
All right, why don't we move on from that? All right, Cal, I think this is probably you, I did read the email, 2025 owed overtime and 2026 pay rates.
So in your new business folder, we've got a few pieces of paper.
Yep.
Let's start with the 2025, nope, that's the,
Okay. This one?
nope.
The last one.
Last one.
Okay.
So the email that I sent you was
Yep.
about the overtime and FLSA, and you guys didn't need to understand the full thing, that was for the
Right.
department heads, but that is the context for why I found out that we had some overtime that we should have been paying overtime rates for, but we were
Yeah.
paying regular rates for. So this is a list of all the people who had an overtime, who worked hours that should have been considered overtime, but were paid their regular rate, and
Yeah.
the amount in the far column is how much extra they should have been paid.
Yeah.
So,
I guess my only question, because I did read the email.
Yeah.
Looked at this, you know, you were nice enough to attach it. We have a couple people who are clearly part-timers, and I'm just wondering how they accrue overtime.
so part-timers do get to have overtime, anybody who works over 40 hours in a week. So the part-timers on there, like Bowden last year,
Yep,
he was like, give me all the hours you got, because he wanted to earn as much as he could over the summertime.
understood.
So
Yep.
John had him working like 60-hour weeks, so,
All right,
um,
stop right there. Doesn't that put us in trouble with federal government with?
Only on overtime.
Okay.
If seasonal employees,
Yep,
can work extended hours,
yep,
while being eligible for benefits.
okay,
yes.
all right.
What
How
he
about
said.
the other two part-timers though? One in the fire department, one in the highway.
It's the same thing, and I've been monitoring everybody's hours to
Yep.
make sure that the averages are below the need for benefits.
You're looking at the 4-week and 5-week periods.
I'm averaging across the year, so
Okay.
every single week whenever I do payroll, I
Yep.
write down the number of hours all the part-timers worked
Yep.
in that week, so that I can tell if they're staying. So like for Herb Batchelder,
Yep.
initially last year, Chief Gamache was scheduling him for too many hours,
Yeah.
so I told him and he reduced it.
Gotcha.
And so he fixed it.
So that's
for
the why
end of
we
this
own
year.
him. Yeah, okay. And same with Roy,
Yes.
okay, which clearly isn't happening.
And it's very occasional.
Yeah.
All of the people on that list.
Yeah, but I mean, the full timers, that's
Yes,
perfectly understandable, and especially,
And it was the understanding before I did this work that part-timers didn't need. Or not in all cases or something, so it's just, we've changed the understanding, all the department heads are on the same page.
yeah.
So everybody going forward is gonna be doing it correctly, and this is
Very good.
just correcting the little bits that we found that needed.
Okay, yeah.
And how is it that Rachel shows up on this list?
The one that I emailed you, I put everybody, but the one that you're gonna sign right now has the library people taken out.
Okay.
I gave Rachel
Oh,
for the
got it.
library trustees to sign tonight, their version of
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
And their version of the next thing that you're signing.
Okay,
Thanks,
all right,
that answers that.
all right, I'm gonna sign this thing, and I'll just pass it down for. This one, no, next document.
It's both.
Okay, all right,
So the next document is the sheet you get every year with the new pay rates for
Yep.
everybody. I printed out 2 different copies because I wasn't sure which plan you were going with for the PD, whether you were
Gotcha.
doing the proposed wages or if you were doing the COLA plus bonuses, so I printed out both.
okay, so
And you
we,
could just decide.
yeah, so my understanding from town meeting is it's the original proposed pay rates, right? So not the COLA for them, for the PD. Right, so it should work out,
The budget that you approved works for either, like it's the same.
Yeah, it was either
We didn't-
realizing the wages or giving it as a bonus.
okay,
That was right, am I right, Cal?
but I thought we agreed to memorialize the wages, not do bonuses.
I think
I
at the
believe too.
last meeting, that's what you guys.
Yeah, that's
did agree.
that's my memory,
You know,
Yeah.
Calvin did not agree, but
Okay.
you guys did.
right.
I just wanted to make sure that I had the right thing signed.
Right,
I mean, we went back and forth a couple of times, so
Yeah.
now it's hard to, because the bonuses, I didn't know if we had an issue with the tax implications of doing it that way versus,
I think the pushback was in speaking with the chief, they didn't like
they didn't
bonuses
wanna wait,
because they-
yeah,
No, because they had gotten in the past and they had forgotten to get. There was issues in the past with bonuses structured like that, so they'd rather see it
right,
as a wage increase versus a bonus.
Yep.
well, also then if it's a bonus, you don't know if you're gonna get that next year, so if it's a wage increase, it's
That was what the chief was
Yeah.
concerned about, was the
waiting around to see.
retention of someone getting a bonus versus a actual wage increase.
right,
So, yes, that's what I believe we came down on.
And I preferred the bonus until we figured out the meetings and the structure and the future of the police.
right,
Cause I wasn't against the money of it, it was just how we structured and gave it to them until the cloud of uncertainty had resolved itself.
right, so we're only signing one document tonight.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Oh, and you know the thing we didn't, oh, we'll wait till we finish
Okay,
this.
yeah, all right, there's that,
Where did the other thing go?
it's right here,
Oh, no, that one.
Oh, this one right here.
yeah.
Just making sure.
No, I'm glad you're keeping track. All right, and so we don't need this, I'll give it back to you.
That one was recycling.
All right. All right, new business, I guess, I'm at the end of what's on the.
So I have I have a couple things. One is the Aries engineering. This 2 years ago, we were required by New Hampshire DES to file a post-closure report for the transfer station. I filled it out, it was accepted. I did the same thing this year, and it was rejected because it needs an engineer's stamp.
Oh, okay.
So I sent it to Aries. There's a cost associated with that.
Of course.
So Aries sent us a proposal for this coming year to do that, as well as the regular annual landfill summary report.
Yeah.
And the total cost is $2,300. So there's a place in here for one signature, so Scott, if you wanna sign this, then.
Any discussion?
Is that amount that we, is that unexpected?
It is unexpected,
So where does that come
so
out?
we will have to budget, we'll have to find that money somewhere.
Okay.
It usually, it won't be a problem because Aries does the, inspection in November. The report isn't due until March 31st of the following year. They typically don't bill us until, we probably won't get billed for this until 2027. So we will make sure the 27 budget includes this number, so we're all set.
So we're in effect paying in arrears for the report on the year before?
That's typically how it works.
Oh, okay.
They do their inspection and the report in November, but it doesn't get submitted until after the first of the year, and then they invoice us after they submit it.
That works for us.
Look at these documents, we don't need any more signatures.
No.
But certainly.
Jeez, I'm not sure I wanna look at this. Oh, jeez, okay. And where does their stamp show up?
That's just
Well,
the
that's the-
agreement.
yeah.
That's just the,
That's
oh,
the
okay.
agreement.
Okay,
They've already submitted the post-closure report.
got it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
I do have one more thing for new business. I guess it kind of goes along with community power.
Mhm.
But I did get an email I got a phone call and an email from Neighborhood Energy out of Thornton, New Hampshire. They are a third-party supplier of energy. He would like a copy of our utility bills. We talked about community power and the cost of community power. And they feel that they can get our supply rates down around 10 cents a kilowatt versus the 14 that community power is charging. I told him I would talk to you guys and forward him our utility bills, just so we could see.
Yeah.
He said, we're on community power, I think the town is invested in, this is just for town buildings.
Yeah.
But I told him that I would,
This proposal for neighborhood energy is just for the town?
just for town buildings, correct.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
I'll send him our utility bills and
Yep.
get a cost per kilowatt. But I just wanted to keep guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I'm sure community power would be very interested in looking their proposal over.
We had a third-party supplier for many years. And then when community power came along, we switched over.
Yep.
It was, we saved like 2 cents a kilowatt versus a third party. But I had talked to the board back when community power became a thing in here, and the board wanted to go ahead and switch, so we did.
All right, I think,
Well, we'll see how that plays out, because it'd be kind of, sounds like it'd be a little awkward to have to, move the town buildings off and then leave the town in the, but to be determined.
I mean, any resident can right
Yes.
now, and switch out of community power.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, that's all, I believe, for new business. Anybody have any new business?
The only new business I have is that I was going through the pile of things to file in my office, and I came across, something that had just caught my eye last year about, in the trust funds, the perpetual care, fund for the cemetery. There is, a substantial amount of money in that trust. It is designated for perpetual care of certain plots where the people have paid for such care. But apparently there is a way that you have to do a lot of calculation, you have to do a lot of measuring, and you have to do a lot of math so that some of that money, like you take a certain percentage of how many plots in the cemetery are actually perpetual care plots, and then you can take that amount of money from here to use, and while you're like getting to those plots to take care of them perpetually, you happen to be maintaining the rest of the cemetery as well. You can't do it, you can't just like blanket take the cost of what it takes to maintain the cemetery. And you do have to figure out, okay, how many hours is somebody mowing at the cemetery, how much gas is being used, yada yada. But the NHMA does have a workshop that covers that. And just to see if there's a way, I mean, if we could realize, I don't know, even $1,000 towards maintaining the two big cemeteries in town, you think of how much time, if nothing else, somebody's mowing them. It might be worth investigating, but I don't know if we need to, as a board, suggest to the cemetery trustees that they go to that seminar and see if it's what it
Right.
involves.
Who are the trustees? John Vogel?
John Vogel, Jan, Cody, and
Sam.
Sam.
So,
So it seems like there's a lot of money sitting there that's not being used. And if we could use some portion of it, I mean, we're looking at every budget line for a couple of bucks, and it will take some work on their part, which they may or may not be willing to do, but I think it would be good if they saw what the work was and if it was worth it.
so that particular fund is controlled by the cemetery trustees.
The trustee of trust
Trustee,
funds.
trust fund.
It is, okay.
It is. It is a non-expendable trust for perpetual care. And this was back in that's what's
Yeah,
sitting in there.
yeah.
So, I mean, this is. Yeah, so it seems,
So I guess, without going too deeply into it, how do we expend funds from a non-expendable trust?
It's the interest.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
so there's,
So will those funds be used to offset the wage line?
I think it would be wage and equipment, right? It could be used for whatever it takes to maintain.
But I guess how does that money get transferred? Because it would go to highway, I assume, since they.
Well, it would be an offset to highway.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. But I guess.
So the
the
interest
amount
was
to that,
still,
in even a year.
Yeah, that's,
How much
that's also your laws on
Yeah.
You'd have to,
yeah,
Yeah.
have to look there, see what they earn a year in
Yeah.
interest.
that adds up.
See.
so I
I
think,
think it's worth looking at, you know, and
yeah, it's one of the NHMA municipal training, what was it, hybrid workshops that
Okay.
had, what, cemetery, library, and what was the third?
Trustee of trust fund.
Trustee of
Okay.
trust fund.
yeah.
So, I think they have one coming up in June. I did ask NHMA, because I couldn't find the schedule on the website, they
No.
responded to me and still didn't tell me when it is, but I believe
Okay.
it's in June. I can find out. But I don't know, again, I don't know, we can't make them go, but I think it sounds like it would be a good suggestion to come from the board more officially,
Yeah,
to say, could you check this out, because,
but I guess, would it be the trustees of the trust fund we should be reaching out to? I guess that's not the cemetery, right?
So it's hybrid class, so all three groups could go.
yeah,
Yeah.
Um,
But ultimately, who controls that money, I This is where I'm getting.
It's a trustee, is a trust fund that
Right.
control the money,
Yeah,
although I think it has to be approved, and I'm not sure. I
yeah.
think it would have to be approved by the cemetery trustees.
Yeah.
That's why you go to the workshop.
I know, that's,
Well, the other thing is that a lot of the legwork, I believe, would have to be done by the cemetery trustees, as far as mapping, planning.
They'd have to
Yeah.
work with the road agent to determine
And
hours.
I don't know how many of our historic lands, cemeteries, because they get mowed, like the one down on the bottom of Center Road that just got all fixed and everything, or Shell Meeting House, or
right.
any of those. Again, if it would help offset the,
Although I think the cemetery trustees would have to look at each lot, each plot to determine if that plot was included in the perpetual
Right.
care.
Yeah.
right,
Because I think a lot of the cemeteries in town, like Kathy and I have cared for Thicker Road
Yeah.
for years.
Yeah.
Probably 10 years. And obviously aren't charging anybody,
and probably, I would assume most of the perpetual care ones are even bigger, main one, or,
I don't know, actually.
It would depend on the records on
Yeah.
what was, if there was a plot that was sold in one of those cemeteries that was dedicated towards perpetual care,
Yeah.
if they took money for that, for perpetual care, then it would be eligible.
well, it seems, if for no other reason, if people gave money for perpetual care, they should be getting some perpetual, some
Good point.
perpetual care.
Absolutely.
But,
Yeah, I think they are, it's
Yeah.
just the town is providing it.
Yeah.
Out of tax dollars, for
Yeah.
everything, and volunteer help.
right,
Yeah.
so it seems, if I can get a date for that particular
Yeah.
workshop, and if we all agree, I mean, how do we communicate that? Do we send a letter to them, or do we email them and just sign on and say,
Invite them to a selectmen's meeting, I don't know, it's up to you.
okay,
You can-
I'll get a date.
Yeah, why don't we do that? That might be a good way to, is invite them to a selectmen's meeting, tell them,
Yeah,
then give them the particulars and.
well, then it's a record, and we
Yeah.
have the discussion, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
April before the grass grows up.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
I think that part's up to NHMA though.
Well, they can come here before that.
Right, right.
Yeah, cause that would give them enough time to do it, sign up for it.
Yeah.
Just look into it.
All right, I don't see Beth yet.
6:30.
No.
Hey, Fred.
6:40.
Oh,
It's bad.
Right. You were not, old business?
Sign policy.
Thank you.
yeah,
I would say, cause
Yeah.
Randy texted me, the Friends of the Center
Yeah.
are applying for a sign, and they wanted to know what the updated policy was if we ever.
I'm so glad you brought that up. That's in the stack of stuff I didn't bother you with this morning.
Yeah, so
All right, so why don't we need to get back on track with that clearly.
Did I send you,
Right.
did I send you all the pictures that I took?
Yeah, back in November.
Do
Wait,
you want them
yeah.
back again?
Yeah, cause it's probably buried in my.
Right.
somewhere.
Okay,
Yeah.
right, I will
think
send-
Yes.
I will send that on
And then
again. And
Now, don't we have the proposed verbiage, didn't we, for
I think we had the whole thing done, except then you guys met out on
We
the
did.
thing, and
Yeah.
then you wanted to talk about having like a town managed
Yeah.
sign, and so I didn't rewrite
And I think that's where
anything.
we left it.
Yeah.
that's where we left the
If you-
discussion, but I've had a lot more thoughts on it.
So I can't remember, did you agree on you want the town managed sign, or
I don't know.
No.
We did not agree.
Right.
that's where you left it, okay.
We left it
So,
looking at what it could be.
Yeah.
how about, if you send out the pictures again, I'll
Yes.
send out the latest
Yeah.
draft again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And put it on the agenda, and you guys can discuss
Right.
at the next
And
meeting.
if I remember the discussion, my concern is if it's a town managed site, let's call it, who in the town is gonna have time to manage it?
Agreed.
So.
That's,
Yeah.
yeah. But, and the other thing is I've heard, right after we were talking about it, I was heard, you hardly hear from anybody, but I heard from a couple of people, they like the low handmade signs, maybe not the
Mm.
plastic ones,
Right.
but the handmade
Right.
painted ones are fun.
Yeah.
They give the town charm, and they're,
Yeah.
reflect the personality of the event. And they really liked to see those more than a billboardy.
Right. So,
It really just came down to where we wanted the signs to be on the.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think,
and how many?
from our meeting there, clearly we don't want them in front of the memorial.
Mhm.
But I think other than that, You know, the low signs wouldn't present a traffic hazard. So I don't see that as a factor. All right, so why don't we get that material back out and then we'll put it on the agenda for the next meeting.
And this is particularly, center, we're not dealing,
Central,
just
not dealing with anything else.
well, center and, historic district, cause that's basically,
Who did
Or
the
no.
posts over by Clough Pond in Baptist Hill?
they did.
They did?
They did.
When we complained
Yeah.
about the sign, the
Correct.
the state of the sign,
Yeah,
they did that the next
Town
day.
property and,
I never saw they did it, I just drove by one day.
Yeah, oh,
yeah, they look nice.
Yeah.
And they really do. They got-
okay, hello, so yeah, I'll
Yeah.
send out those
And
pictures.
so I think we should confine it to center.
Yeah.
Because historic district would also include Shaker,
Right.
the village, and
Yeah,
let's not,
everything you can see from the gazebo, how about that? Can we define the center as
Right.
that? Make it an official designation?
Just do the center historic district there.
there you go.
Yeah, they are.
Let's do it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
there we go, that's easy.
Yeah, because we certainly don't want cheesy signs, you know, just outside the center. Somebody will get us on a loophole.
They always do.
You can have a sign with cheese on it, you know that.
Right.
Okay, so send a sign.
Right.
Pictures.
All right. Anything more on that? Otherwise,
Thank
Beth's
you for
here,
bringing that up.
Edgar's here, Fred's here, so, if you guys wanna come down or stay where you are, it's up to you guys. Wherever you're
Sit.
comfortable.
I can see better from moving. Sorry that I asked for the later time frame.
That's all right.
But perfect timing, thank you,
I'm
Edgar.
not feeling too bad at this
So
point.
thanks, Edgar.
Thank you.
So thank you for coming. I know that you guys have seen by now the articles in newspapers that communities are dropping out of community power. And some of the, we've had Bow drop out. I understand Portsmouth is looking at dropping out and Dover is selectively dropping out. My concern is, you know, when we signed on for community power, it was with the promise of lower rates. And those lower rates have just not materialized. And I didn't know until I read the article in Seacoast Online that community power had lost $8 million last year through some bad decisions, it sounds like. And now we're trying to make it up. It sounds like make it up with a little more on top of that. So, you know, I'm only gonna speak for me. I won't speak for the other board members. I'll certainly let them do that. One thing I always try to remember as I sit here is this town is filled with people on fixed incomes. And for me, the promise of community power has not materialized. You know, people that have stuck with community power, myself included, are now paying more for our electricity than if we had stuck with our original supplier.
So, a couple things to start.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, have you ever been quoted in the newspaper? And was it right?
Oh my God, no.
Okay.
So as recently as second session of town meeting,
Yeah,
they
there you
quoted
go.
me and it was
There you go.
absolutely wrong. So yes,
So what has been reported is a little blown out of proportion.
Okay.
And a little, what do you call it?
Sensationalized.
Sensationalize it, thank you.
self.
A little sensational,
Yeah.
Yeah, that word.
Bo is pulling out, not of community power, but out of the Merrimack County Community Power. So Merrimack County actually has community power. They did it after we did, we're in Merrimack.
Yeah, we were early on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's a little different for them to pull out, than it is for us to pull out. There's and from what I understand in Bo, the change that happened is that there was a new select board elected, and they had a bent against community power.
Okay.
Certainly, I mean, the committee is very aware of the fact that this is the case. And that's why we set a listening session. Because we wanna hear from people what they are thinking. There is another town that has pulled out or is in the process of pulling out, and that's Hudson.
Okay.
Hudson likewise had a select board member who got, whether it was got on the board because they didn't like community power or what, but that was how that happened.
Yeah. And Wilmot, I believe, pulled out
Excuse
as
me,
well.
Wilmot was one.
I did hear that on the
Yeah.
web. I have talked with community power and Wilmot would have been in for Merrimack County also.
Okay.
Sort of the same as Bo.
Yeah.
So it's not a member of the community power coalition. In other words, they don't have a representative
I
at
understand.
community
Yep.
power
Yep.
hearing what is happening. $8 million is a lot of money.
Yeah.
When you're a utility serving 200,000 customers, 200,000. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of customers. $8 million is still a lot of money, but in the budget, it's a smaller amount of money. The time frame that happened in was when CPC&H rates were very high when we did this. They were like 24, 26 cents. One of the reasons they're now 12 or 14 cents is because there's competition now. There was no real competition because the only way somebody else could compete was to get people to change to a third party supplier. Which anybody can do at any time. But the nature of people is that they don't do that. So there weren't a lot of people who were on a third party supplier. Community power came in, and actually what happened is the utilities underpriced themselves. And because CPC&H didn't have a track record of how much it cost to do this work, they were going for the same thing that they promised, will be under. So they were pricing under the utilities. And that's what caused that $8 million loss. We've had another loss just now, and that's, I talked with Beth about this. That's because there's a new charge by the New England Grid Operator, ISO, OSI, that the ISO said was gonna be about $2 per megawatt. Wound up being $43 per megawatt. CPC&H's rates were charged on something more than $2 because they didn't really believe it was gonna be $2, but the utilities undercut what CPC&H is, so that's a little piece of why our rates are high. Stuff is really complicated.
Yeah.
The reality of what we have now is Canterbury has elected community power. Anybody can opt out of community power right now. If we were to leave community power, there would be no opportunity for any individual to go on community power. So part of that is limiting choice. The other part is the rate setting issue and being lower than the utilities was a big sales point. But it was not the only sales point. The other sales point was local control. Voice at the PUC, which you only get if you are a supplier, and CPC&H is a supplier. And the opportunity in the future to have monies set aside by the town, and set aside by CPC&H to be available for town expenses. Does that all equal up to the value of 2 cents per kilowatt? I know that's a lot, and the committee is really aware of the fact that we have one person, and that's Edgar, who is on CPC&H. None of the rest of us can be.
Right, because you're
Fred's
so
not even,
Yeah.
Fred's not even hooked up to the
Yes.
wires.
Right.
So we have been trying to find people who are on CPC&H to bring that voice, other than just Edgar. Edgar has a good voice.
Yeah.
But we want more than Edgar's voice on that table, around the table. So hopefully the listening session will help us do that.
And I guess that's another frustration, of mine, once again, is the way that we've used the adder has been when we could beat the utility rates, which I think we've only done twice since community power
Right at the
started.
very beginning.
It was
Yeah,
only one time that we had that as the default.
yeah,
Yeah, only
Yeah.
one time.
so,
It has been an opt-out.
right, but,
Yeah.
you know, the promise, if you will, was always, you know, there will be a fund to do sustainable energy projects in the future. That just isn't happening.
It isn't happening for two reasons. That is one of them. The other one is that we're a small town, so we don't have a lot of ratepayers. And we are one of the lowest participants in all of the towns. I looked at all the towns and looked at the participation because we have so many people with net metering.
Gotcha.
We are one of
Yep.
the most solarized towns
Yep.
in the state, or that has elected
Yeah.
power. Lebanon, Hanover, someplace over on the seacoast, maybe Exeter, have similar low rates, but we've only got like a 75%, 80%
Yeah.
intake
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot to chew on. For me, it comes down to the fact that anyone can take themselves out of community power at any time.
Yeah.
And yes, it means going against what our nature is, which is we're not going to do anything for ourselves. We're going to wait till somebody else puts us on community power and takes us off of it.
Right.
Um,
Have you guys heard from anyone, because the other thing that, and, you know, as I think we've all agreed, newspapers can sometimes sensationalize things, but one of the things that, one of the articles I read talked about was the difficulty people were having getting off of community power.
It's interesting, the people who I've talked to have called that number, have had good experiences.
Yup.
Edgar, have you heard from anybody or?
No, I haven't heard anybody about complaining trying to get off.
Yeah.
The most concerns, and this is where I come in, is the samples that you have when you're in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
The concern of people is, yes, their bills are higher.
Yep.
And what you have in front of you here is two people in town for Eversource. And the amount of power that the difference in the amount of power that they're using. You start off with the December all the way till February there. Bill. And you can see how much different power, those are the first two sheets.
Okay.
There's the three bills in each sheet. Get yourself already in there from that. And you can see how, because of the weather, they actually used a lot more. And the difference just between two people in town, their experience on the cost. Now, if you look on the third sheet, on the second
With
bill.
the circle?
No, the circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the second bill there, that's from 1 year ago. And on there, you can see the fees. Now, the section on the bill that says Supplier, that's your community power. That's the only section that community power controls.
Yep.
The delivery section, that comes from the utility.
Right.
So those fees have changed if you compare them. And that's where your majority of bill increase is coming from. That people are experiencing. Now,
Not the community power section, but the supply section,
in the supply,
No, this.
I mean,
Delivery
yeah,
section.
Delivery.
delivery.
now in the two suppliers and the two people here, one of them is on the lowest rate, right?
Yep.
And the other one has up to the adder with an adder rate.
The Canterbury
That's why you see
basic?
the, yeah,
Okay.
and that's why you see the difference in between. Those are on the same time periods, and that's why you see the
I
difference
see.
in rates.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so they're actually paying, depending on the month, maybe an extra $30 some dollars in difference because of how much one is, using 1876 kilowatts, and the other one's using 519.
Yeah.
Right, and their pay makes it a difference because of that extra adder.
Yeah.
But that's the adder that goes to the community that you can later withdraw for projects. But the driving force of the bill is coming from that. One of the obvious ones is the customer charge. If you look a year ago, it used to be $15, now it's $19.81. And then some of the other fees down have changed, and when you multiply times the kilowatts that you're using, that's when the amount adds up real quick.
Yeah.
If you don't have never seen a bill like this is from Eversource. On the left side there, on the top left, there's a history. It goes backwards of how much they've used. So the people have used similarly to last year's during this time. So it's not so much that they've, used all of a sudden so much more. It's pretty similar to how much they've used before in a year ago. So what someone withdrawing from Canterbury Community Power will only experience really that 2% difference to the utility rate because they're still gonna get charged those fees under the delivery section. And they're withdrawing in the power for community power is the number of people that they supply. So when they show up to buy power from the producers, it matters how many they're supplying to.
Yeah.
So the higher the number we're at, the better power they have when it comes to buying.
Per town or over the whole?
Over the whole as an organization.
Yeah, because they buy it.
Right.
So there's,
Yeah.
it's a little bit like deciding when to put your money in the stock market. It may be a good time when you decide, but when you make the order and then something happens, the result could be really different than what you expected. And that's what happens on a regular basis to the utilities and to community power. Is that you give your order for the next 6 months, a huge amount, and you're stuck for 6 months. The utilities were recently given the ability to do, I think it's a certain amount on the spot market, which has also allowed them to take more risks and decrease their rate, but they have also overrun that. And so they have some makeup to do.
Yeah.
When they tried to do that makeup this last time around, well, a couple times ago, instead of, they undercharged for services, for supply. And when they went to make up that, they got the PUC to say, okay, you can make up that. They wanted to take it from charge people on the distribution side of things, which CPC&H pays. But we did not get the supply that was undercharged for. So here's one of the things that CPC&H does. They took them to court and they won. So that is not an option any longer for the utilities to do that. That whole list of benefits that we had in the past is still there for community power. I feel some trepidation in taking a stand for or against CPC&H because I'm not suffering any additional. But what I look at in the large picture is that we went from 24 cents to like 8 cents. Because of competition.
You're right, the earliest
So,
rate settings.
Even if community power rates are higher right now, the reason they're as low as they are is because there's competition. And the reason CPC&H can't keep up with the utilities right now, yes, there's that reserve thing. But it's because they were undercut by the utilities and they can't do that because they don't have reserves and they don't have shareholders to cover.
Yeah.
So that's an advantage, and right now it's a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Well, looking ahead though, when you start negotiating the second half of the year.
So the next half of the year goes the end of June. So when we first started, the only thing we could do was undercut the utilities because we didn't have any track record of how much it costs to serve.
Yeah.
Now we do have that track record, and so they're basing it on that. So regardless of what the utilities charge, we are not gonna undercut how much it costs to serve. So let me get to the question, which was,
Well, I guess my
Yeah.
big question is obviously negotiating the new rate the
That's
second
right.
half of the year, but considering the vast majority of the grid in New England is run off of gas and
That's right.
other, which
No
in
problem.
today's world it's
yeah,
going through the
going up.
roof right, like obviously you're gonna, I would assume anticipate,
And
Everything's going
Power
up.
costs
Everything's
will
going up.
go up.
Everything's going up.
and they're gonna try to make up for, March, April, May, because they always do, they never leave
Right.
money in the pockets of the consumer.
Right, and they've got that PUC charge that they've got to make up, all of them, community power less so than the utilities.
Right. But,
There isn't really a negotiation for power for rates. It's a bid.
Okay.
It's not, you don't get to say, I want this, want that. You
Well, I guess
say-
with the shortcoming, that 8 million shortfall, and
Yeah.
the potential of power going through the roof the second half of the year, like, does CP,
Yeah.
does the board, are they anticipating that? Are they gonna include that in their bid, so that way they don't come out next year behind again?
Right, I mean, the offers from the suppliers are not gonna be as favorable as they have been recently. So when they put in for what they're gonna get, in all likelihood, I mean, things change so fast. Is it gonna be higher? Well, right now, today, I expect that it would be, and we are expecting it would be, and there are some reasons why CPC&H might expect the utilities to not be able to go as low this time, in addition to the energy costs.
right.
Will
It's
CBC&H be able to go as low even as they could? Will they end up being even? They could be.
Even as far as with utilities,
Yeah.
it could happen that way. I don't know.
Well,
But
except,
so the reserve issue is a
right,
2 cent adder onto the rate that they're
Yeah.
gonna get.
2 cent or 2?
2 cent,
It
2
is.
cents.
Yeah, 2 cents.
It's 2 cents, that's a lot.
yeah.
And it is, I wanna say about 2 cents. I wanna have my 2 cents.
Hmm.
The 2 cents is meant to work up the reserve. Because
Right.
right now, they have to borrow in order to pay for energy, which is dumb. And they all know that that's dumb, but it takes time to work up a reserve.
Yeah. And what was the amount that they, Edgar, didn't you tell us? They're gonna build the reserve up to a
Yeah.
certain dollar
Yeah.
amount. What was that?
Uh,
Was it 30?
I think I.
yes,
We have it, yeah,
in
it was like
regards to
30,
that, you were asked about how soon are they gonna be
Correct.
reporting? Because it comes in through the rate.
Yep.
They said that it will take about 3 months behind for the amount that they actually have on the reserves. Because it has to work through the
Canterbury.
system. No, he's
No,
talking about
yeah.
the reserves for the
CPC&H
CPC&H.
research.
Yeah.
Because it has to work through their system and
Yeah.
whatever projects whatever's going on.
Yeah,
So it'd be 3 months before you actually see how much they actually have in
Yeah.
reserves. So
right.
they report it monthly in the reports, but it's mixed with other money. Is that you can't. You
But you
won't
were
see
asking
that
what their
account.
goal was, right?
Correct. And,
No, he was saying how much they accumulated so far.
and what their goal was though.
Yeah.
You gave
Oh,
us the
they-
number for what the
yeah,
goal
it
was.
30
I
million.
think it's like
Yeah.
a 60-day,
But
60-day reserve.
Yeah,
the amount how much they've accumulated so far
yeah,
is a 3 month delay because the money has to work through the system.
Yeah.
They have to close accounts and then
right.
send them out and
And, you know, once again, just speaking for me, that's another concern is they're trying to make up this deficit.
Hmm.
And more, so,
I think, would you feel better if you had more of a sense of a timeline, like, okay, they believe that they can make their reserve goals.
That's what it-
So
yeah.
I have that based on before this last few months, which was 2 cents this time, 2 cents that time, 1 to 2 cents the following time. Whittling
You mean
it down.
6 months period?
6 month
Yeah.
periods, yeah.
Yeah.
Whittling it down
yeah,
until they get to that point.
right.
They
So-
don't want this 2 cent adder forever,
Yeah.
yet they also don't wanna pay loan.
So that sounds like 2 years. You got 1,666, then down.
Yeah, it's
That's
Yeah, it's
like 2
probably
years.
gonna be a couple of years. But we don't know what the utility is gonna do, so we don't know. I mean, it's really, the more I learn, the more I realize this is not an exact science, and it is hard to predict. When they talked to Bo,
This one too.
not sure if it was Bo or somebody else. Basically, the agreement that we signed said we can get out, we can request to get out at any time.
Mhm.
It needs to be at a time when it isn't gonna put in jeopardy all the other towns. So there's a time frame for that to happen, so you don't get out right away. And you continue to be on community power for a period of time.
Right.
Um,
But if we're so little that we sort of don't matter, it shouldn't, if we decided to withdraw, I wouldn't expect it would take all that long.
they don't give a specific, and they do a study on what.
I think that, yeah, but if you, when you read the article, it was, there was, the reasons it was so long is again, they're working through, you know, where the money is,
Right.
where
But
your
Bow
money
is
is.
a much larger town than Canterbury.
Well, what's the
Yeah,
difference if
right, but
85% of your people
Bo
just opt out?
Right, well, that's the other thing.
I mean, the power of the people, you can effectively
That's right.
get out of
Right.
community power just by individuals opting out.
Right.
Be
In
my
fact-
assumption.
The town can opt out of community power for our buildings without impacting anybody
Right,
else's.
Right, yeah.
So it is very complicated. What will happen is that CPC&H will get to the point where they're under again. That may be at the time that you're withdrawing, during a period of time. And then in order to get back, if you choose to get back in, you have to go through the whole thing again. And by the time you get back in, you don't know what the rates are gonna be. So, you know, what's best? I've had some people come to me and say my bills are higher, and when I've looked at them, one person had gotten a new car,
Mhm.
a Tesla, and
Okay,
they've been charging the car for a year and a
Gotcha.
half, using up their excess
Yeah.
that they had built up. So as soon as I explained that, they're like, yeah, okay, it's costing me a couple $100 a
Yeah.
month to charge my Tesla, that's better than what I was paying in gas.
Yeah.
And in some instances, I've said, look at the other part of your bill, and they said, oh yeah, that went up a lot.
Yeah.
So I haven't heard from anybody who felt that CPC&H wasn't worth doing. But if they did, and even before they figured it out, I said, here's the number. You can leave at any time.
right,
And I know there was a concern expressed in that NHPR piece that Unitil has a monthly rate that you get dumped into. Well, if you get out anytime between now and July or August, you're in the lower rate for the rest of the season. Because it's going down, because the winter rates are going down.
Yeah.
So, that shouldn't be an issue for anybody who gets out now.
Yeah.
So.
right.
you
But the
did-
issue is still telling anybody that they have that choice, because it still sounds like a lot of people don't understand that you actually do. That you can opt up, down, or side, I mean, some people do, but
We've had, I don't have those numbers with me. There have been some people who've opted up or down or out. Or in.
where do you see those numbers? Through
They're on the website. And I can get you that information.
I would like to see that, actually, because it would certainly help me know who's hearing what we're saying. How many people realize that.
Yeah.
And if all of a sudden you saw 60 people opt out, you'd say, oh, well.
Well, that's great, because they've made the choice that they needed to make.
Right, but I'd like to know that.
Yeah,
Or
no,
opt up, I mean, because
Yeah.
there's still a couple of people in town I know who are paying the highest rate,
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
still wanna support
Yeah.
sustainable energy.
Yeah.
Not many, but
Right.
some people
Yeah.
do.
But some aren't.
There aren't a lot. There aren't a lot. And the opt-ups, when you leave the town, so we had somebody just leave the apartment, that is shown as someone who left.
Gotcha.
So a lot of
Yeah.
people who leave are people who move away and discontinue service.
Yeah,
But then you've got the people who are moving in and starting.
Right. Yes,
New.
which
right,
Does that show up too on the place where you get us to, the refreshing, for people who are new?
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know if it does, but I'll ship that out to everybody.
No,
So-
yeah, I'd like to
Yeah.
be able to see that too.
Yeah, and certainly I plan to be at the listening session, which
Yeah,
I think is a great
yeah.
idea.
And there will be a representative from CPC and
Good.
H there,
Yeah.
so we can ask him questions.
Yeah.
It'll be Jackson. or
Jackson.
Andrew. I'm not, it's maybe Andrew.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Knowing the people who are involved in CPC and H, I have a lot of confidence in the fact that they're doing what they can do to keep these rates down. And they're playing the game of having to buy blind sometimes. And sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. And that just
Anything else?
Yeah, go right ahead, Edgar.
So to answer your question, another question you had was about the adder. If we're to withdraw from community power, they said, yes, we can withdraw the funds. Okay, it wouldn't be a problem. But also the second adder that they put in for CPC and H, that those funds we can actually withdraw from, but they have a longer time to give those funds back because they have up to 36 months. Because it has to work through however many projects the money is being used to on that. Another concern is that what CPC and H provides to the New England area and New Hampshire residents here is the fact that the cost of power, because there's a difference between a rate for electricity and delivery of electricity, okay? The infrastructure for transmission of electricity is very limited. It hasn't been invested in a long time. So the cost for that is gonna go up. They're looking at that already. We're selling natural gas, which is gonna drive the cost of production for electricity, okay? So those rate increases are coming. And CPCNH is providing that competition to the utilities, because the utilities, if they don't have competition, they could drive up those rates and then their fees to whatever they want without that competition. So
Well,
that is the benefit that we have currently
yeah,
in the assistance of CPCNH. While we may look at it like, oh, we're paying 2 cents more than the utility when it comes to the rate, because remember, CPCNH only affects the supply section. They have no control over the delivery side. So
right,
those 2 cents is making that difference that they're gone tomorrow, the following day, in the next 6 months, the suppliers do not start hiking up back their rates along with their transmission. And there's justification for transmission increases because the amount of consumption is increasing in the United States compared to how much infrastructure there is. So there's more cost development there.
yeah.
So
But they're
that's the part that we gotta
overseen,
understand.
yeah, they're overseen by the PUC though, right?
Yeah.
So,
Okay, but they justify the cost for the increase, right? Because that's what they have to do to them. And there is, because how much power is being pulled through the limited infrastructure that we
Right.
have.
Well, so it's not limited, it's the fact they just dumped hundreds of millions of dollars into the Highlines. They have to recoup their costs somewhere.
Yeah, that too, but when you
They're paying us a bunch of tax dollars,
Yeah.
our tax dollars, because they
So,
improve their infrastructure.
kind of.
But they pass that on to the rate.
It always goes to the consumer.
Yes.
And the real question was, were those old poles needing to be replaced?
60 feet from the lines needed to be cut back.
That's part of the whole justification for the rates that we pay out of municipal safety complex, because they have to be able to provide so much power, the peak demand, and they charge us for that. If our solar panels are covered with snow, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and the highway department turns on a welder and the air compressor comes on, they have to provide that, and that infrastructure has to be in place. And that's how they justify charging us the rates that they charge for that building,
yeah,
because they charge us at a commercial rate for that.
So if we switch to, or if we, what's the proposal from Neighborhood Energy, or don't we even know?
I don't know. We got a proposal from, Neighborhood Energy out of Thornton. They're a third-party supplier. And the guy in the email told me he could probably get our rates down, for the town buildings,
Yep.
down around 10 cents.
Yep.
We're gonna send them our utility bills.
Yeah.
I told them that the town was pretty much invested in community power. I don't know that even if they were a couple cents cheaper, that the selectmen would agree. But at the same time, I said,
You gotta
said
look.
that we'll
Yeah.
get something back.
Right. And that,
And-
you know, I see our role here is to do exactly what we're doing, which is having a conversation, making sure that, you know, the average retired person on fixed income here is getting the fairest deal that they can.
I mean, does that just come down to better communication or publicity, maybe from community power to tell you how to disenroll or how to get, I mean,
Yeah.
Because our
is that a
average,
simple answer?
So, I got the message through Cal that, we should have something on the website, and more than just how to disconnect, I did a write-up on,
Thank you.
more than that.
Yep.
Yeah.
For the.
Good.
And I think if you go back to any of the most recent 6 months of town newsletters, that number's on the back page every single time.
I've made that the
Yeah.
community power place,
Yeah,
is the back
that's good.
page.
Yeah.
So,
But still, I
we
mean-
want people to know that, it's not hidden in any way, we wanna make sure that people know, this is not, this is not a dictatorship, you can make a choice here.
I think that, looking at it from a business standpoint, I think that community power did a very good service to the customers because, like you said, they provided competition to the utilities. And I think like you said, the utilities have a fairly substantial reserves, so they can afford to cut their rates.
Yeah.
But at some point, they're gonna have to bump their rates back up because they can't keep eating to those reserves.
Yeah.
Because they answer to their stockholders. And if the stockholders aren't getting some kind of money back, then they're gonna,
Go squawk.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's gotta be like surfing, because I mean, thankfully, okay, so if CNH gets into the game, brings rates down for everybody, okay, now their rates are a little higher, but now the utilities are much lower than they would have been otherwise, and anybody in town who can opt down, if they don't, and then when the utilities go back up, they can opt back in if community power is lower.
Yeah.
If somebody's willing to do that, they can always have the lowest rate.
But I think Beth mentioned it, and I think it's absolutely true. Human nature being what it is.
Well, yeah,
not gonna take action.
Right.
Yeah.
Has community power looked into the net metering? Because I
They are
remember we
looking
spoke.
into
They're
it
trying.
continuously.
They are. It has been.
There's a law that would need to get changed in order to make that happen.
Yeah.
This is not the right atmosphere to make that change,
Yeah.
though they are continuing to try.
Because I'd just be curious to see all the people that have solar in town, how they could
Mhm.
contribute.
So at the listening session, we'll address that. There are certain customers who are early adopters who use the power, but it doesn't completely cover them, like I think like the town. That it still makes sense for them because they're not building up a surplus. But anybody who's building up a surplus and not taking it all the way down to zero is not gonna,
Right.
it's not gonna benefit. And anybody who put their system in part of 2017 and
Right.
later, you can't make it work.
And like, I make a surplus every month on mine, and we put ours in 21.
Yeah, so you wouldn't, under the current circumstances, you wouldn't benefit from, you would only lose by going on community power. I mean, I'd love to go on community power and take their highest rate and have all of that renewable energy coming in on my behalf and then repay it with solar. Trade it for solar, but
Yep.
that's not how it works.
Right.
yet.
Right. Yeah.
And the fact that they're working on that they're doing the work to pass laws and to lobby and to be at the PUC means to me that the ratepayers are getting a much better deal.
Well, there's a new commission, right, at the PUC?
There is.
There is, right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or has he been
In
elected or
process.
is it, yeah.
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 I
Somewhere.
don't know.
Yes.
I just wanted to sort of attempt to summarize it if we're basically done. A little bit of wrap up and summarize. One thing is, as of today, I saw in an email that CPCNH has appointed a new executive
Yes.
director.
I got the same email.
Who's, you
Yeah.
you're on
Yeah,
it.
we got it.
Yeah.
Who's, been around a long time.
Yeah, yeah, he was here for the original meeting.
Yes.
He was here for things even before that.
Yeah.
But anyway, the biggest thing that stands out in my mind is that by remaining members of CPCNH, we give our residents the option to either drop out and get back in when the time is right. And if we were not members of CPCNH, they couldn't get back in. So that's one thing, and I don't think it costs us anything to remain members.
No.
And as you're saying, the town itself, for its own accounts, can get out of CPCNH and go somewhere else.
Or get back in.
Or get back in.
Yeah.
So that's what I see.
Yeah.
about it.
Sure. Well,
So while I'm thinking of it, would it be helpful if we targeted and this is probably a conversation better to have the next committee meeting, but if we target instead of, a lot of the information we put on the back page of the newsletter's got a lot of information. Just put one thing a month in there, like one like this, if you wanna opt out, this is it. But is it helpful for people who don't know how to do this or are fearful or don't wanna call? Can we be in here one afternoon a month and say, if you would like to opt in or out, come sit, we'll help you do it.
Oh, that's a good idea. I like that.
So for any
They'll
little.
still have to read.
They still have to read, but they'll have somebody reading with them, and if
That's right.
they don't wanna do it, at least we can, so we'll be here for 1 hour a month, 2 hours a month or whatever.
I think
Change
that's a
our
great
committee
idea.
meetings to the middle of the day and have them come in.
Yeah.
But I think if people are hesitant about doing it themselves, that's part of our role is to help them do that.
Yep. I think that's great. I think that's great. And make it easier for people to make that very difficult decision to
Yeah.
go forward and take
Yeah.
action.
Yeah, and again, if they decide 1 month to do it and then 1 month they wanna switch back and we're here again and they can do it and
2-time limit.
I think,
You're 40 minutes into this conversation.
thank you. Okay.
And we still have an executive session.
Yes.
oh, yes, I forgot about that.
Thank you all. We'll
Well,
see
all
you
right.
at the listening section.
Asking,
Thanks,
because
Cal.
it's important.
These are really helpful.
Thank you, but I answered.
I'll get to your list.
Yes, thank you,
Did not do that today.
thank you, no.
Time flies.
Alrighty, thank you.
All right.
Good night.
Thanks, Edgar.
Thanks for.
Thanks for coming,
Those are
Fred.
great. Very helpful.
Alright,
We have one more thing on old business.
Yep,
That is
the meeting house light proposal from Affinity.
correct. So I think I sent you that.
You did.
yes, you did.
I also met with a separate contractor today and he's gonna give me a price in the next 2 days.
Okay.
Oh,
So
great.
I would like to see what he
Yeah.
gives us
Yeah.
versus what Affinity's giving us.
Yep, and I think that's kind of where I was too.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a 10-year payback for the
Yeah.
building, and I
Yeah.
just didn't, for the amount, and I think they base their math off an 8-hour day would be my assumption.
Yeah.
I certainly don't use this for 8 hours,
No.
so my guess is it would go even longer.
Yeah.
And did you approach this other company who's coming or did they find us?
I approached them.
Okay,
It's
thank
the
you.
same electrician we used for the lights at the high bays in both the fire station and the.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
So it's a known
Yeah.
vendor and.
Yeah, we know their work.
It's not a big job and he would say he was gonna get back to me.
Yeah, I really liked the Affinity company and I thought their presentation was great. I think they'll be great for the municipal center, which seems to be more their size.
Yes.
But for this, the cost was
Yep.
astonishing, I thought.
Yep.
So, okay,
I agree. All right.
that was fast.
Yep. All
Thank
right.
you for,
Anything else before we adjourn into executive session?
don't believe so.
All right, then I will make.